Hey, 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 it is your girl Pusher. If you're not pushing forward, you're moving backwards. Say it out loud. Forward ever, backwards never. No, really say that thing out loud. Forward ever, backwards never. Did you get your copies of It Takes One to Know One Workbook and Journal, People Pusher, and Remember Me? If not, you still got a chance to pull up on your girl. Go to pusherlife.org. Go to the author's link, and you will find all three copies of It Takes One to Know One, People Pusher, and Remember Me. Get your copies. We are healing out loud, and we are doing it together. And we are using the workbook and journal to help push us along. So if you want to be a part of the mission, healing 1 million people. I have, if you look in the chat, the link is in the chat. And so you can even right now, as I am talking, you can take the pledge. The link is in the chat. And I want to shout out everybody in the chat. I like the chatting with the chat before it gets started. And so I thank you all for showing up and obliging me and responding. So welcome, welcome, welcome. And to everyone who is new to this space, welcome. We welcome you. But as we all have experienced, we got to get straight into it while we are here. And why is that important? Because I like to maximize every second of every minute in this hour that we have. I know why we are here, so it is no need to delay. But shout out to you all in the pusher community. I love when you all pull up and let your presence be known. And on tonight, I am operating out of my default, so I am a bit reserved, not really feeling my best, but you're going to get my 100, whatever that means and whatever that looks like. You're gonna get it. And so I'm just so grateful. I'm so grateful. So without further ado, I will not delay. I do have someone really, really special coming up. I do. And I'm just trying to give the community enough time to come in because I do not want you to miss what is going to be shared on this evening, on this good, rainy, wet Wednesday. I do not want us to miss anything. And shout outs to those that will watch the replay. Shout out to you. I hope that your heart will be blessed. Although we did not have a conversation, but I can appreciate when people show up just because they have something to say. I love it. I love it. And if you work with me, if you know me, then you know I come with a little push. Shout outs to H. Morgan. He says he just took the pledge. Yes, yes. Thank you. Hold up. I got something for you. Thank you, sir, for taking a pledge and letting us know that you have taken the pledge. Thank you. And let's get into it. And so without further ado, and feel free in the chat when you take the pledge to let me know I am watching, I am paying attention. I can see what you are saying. I want you to know that your voice matters. Although we are using our keys to represent what we have to say, I want you to know that I see you. Miss Amanda said, I was just trying to take the pledge now. Don't try. Trying is weak man's work. Let's get that done. Let's get that done. Let's get it done. So without further ado, I will bring this lovely lady up. I will be giving updates, but not today on Miss Karen Cook. I will periodically give you all updates because I believe as a community you are owed that. But I want you to know that she and her daughter is doing well, and we definitely appreciate your support in this journey of healing out loud. And so, without further ado, here we go. Community, clap your hands. We had the one, the only Tyra the poet. Yes. Let me get my snaps on. And my claps on. Yes, yes, yes. Welcome. And this is no stranger. So welcome back. I believe this is your third time. You on mute. Come off me.
Yes. Hello. Yes. Number three.
Number three. Uh-oh. We hitting a record. You in the run-ins.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Oh, hand me back anytime.
Oh, Raven said, welcome back. Yes, the third time. We know what number three represents. So we're gonna get this work. The title is I Forgive You. That is the title on today. That is the subject. That is the umbrella in which we will be speaking under today. And I just want to put this disclaimer out. This is not a therapy session. This is not, I don't know or purport to know everything. The only thing that I know is what I've been through and how I got through it. And that is what I do my best to give whenever it is that I speak. That's why I oftentimes remind myself as I remind others, I only speak when I got something to say. And on this Good Wednesday, we have something to say. And so without further ado, I'm going to ask that you reintroduce yourself to some. And we do have new family members, a part of the Pusher community on this evening. So I want you to introduce yourself to those that haven't seen you the first time or the second time.
Hey, so hello to everybody. Um, my name is Tyra, but I also go by Tyra the Poet. And I am a multitude of things. I am a mom, I'm a wife, I'm a poet, I am an entrepreneur, and I am a child of God. And I just love Asabi. So
Oh,
that's
and I love you back, and I love you back. I do, I do, I do. You know, you got a special place in my heart, in my life. I love it. Don't have to talk to you every day. Don't have to see you every day, but I am not insecure at all about my place in your heart. Not at all.
I know
And
what
it just, what you was great say?
I said. I know because you know I check in a minute.
Yeah, I know. I know, and I love it. I just love it because it's organic, it's real. I'm a Pusha and Tyra fan. Oh, that's so sweet. Shout outs to Miss Kaumba for making it on this evening. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So let's get into it. So when you hear the words "I forgive you," what comes to your mind? Where do you think we are going at? Did you think about it? But when you hear those words, what comes to your mind?
I did think about it, and with me knowing you and how deep you can get, I thought like, how far is she going to take me in this journey, right? So, when I hear those words, I just think about freedom and forgiving myself for some things. Um, so that's the word that I think about is freedom. So I'm probably going to share some things with you today that I've probably never shared with anybody. But what better place and space to do it than with you and with the pusher community? So
Wow. All right. So let's not delay. What is it that you are going to share, or do I need, or do we as a community need to push it and let it happen just organically, or are you open right now?
I want to start the process of sharing this story because, like I said, I've never shared it, and it plays such a pivotal, has such a space in my life, and so I'm sharing it because I want people to understand the power in not only forgiving others for what they may have done to you, but forgiving yourself, and then also recognizing the part that you played um, in that in that which happened. So um, I'm gonna just start from the beginning, and I just want to say this: I'm sharing my story, some of it, and it's not to hurt any of the people that played a part in it because I'm free today. So I have no bitterness. I have no hurt. Um, I love both of these people still to today, And so I just want to, this is just part of that freedom is me sharing some of the story and knowing that I forgive me. So you want me to start? So I'm not sure if we had a bad connection, but I'm gonna just start the story. I'm just gonna share a little bit, and then Asabi will probably come back in. Um, so this journey with me learning to forgive myself started some years ago. I want to say about 14 years ago, um, and it started with two people that I hold very dear to my heart, um, and my my children's father, and a young lady whom I decided to take in, and um, they did something that I thought they would never do, and I don't have to, say it out loud, but um, them doing that, and then it was right around the time that I had my daughter, right around the time I had Ivory, and so um, it led to like a downhill spiral for me. Like it led to a lot of depression, anxiety, just a lot of things. My trust was broken, and so um, fast forward to today, and I want to say a separation because at the end of the day, we wind up separating because I just the trust was gone. So when somebody does something to you that you love that much, it's hard to trust them. And so even though we try to um, make it work, I just like the trust was gone. And so it took me a long time. So for years, I was like depressed. And the hardest part about it is that I love them. I love them both. But of course, my children's father, like, that was like my everything. So I was just like, oh, my world is over. Didn't want to deal with anybody, didn't want to do anything. Um, and I felt that way for a very long time. And so you fast forward a few years, um, and I, I basically got back into church. Can you see? Can you hear me?
Mm.
Okay. So I just started sharing my story. I wasn't sure what happened, so I just started.
No, I left on purpose.
Okay. And so fast forward to a few years later, and I recognized that like I got to get myself out of this funk, like I got to get myself out of this depression. And so I did what my sister Michelle would say, had a little talk with Jesus. And he told me like you got to get yourself together. And the the thing to do that is first you're going to have to forgive yourself, right? But first you got to take accountability for the part that you played in the whole situation. And when I look back and I was like, you know what? It's not my fault what happened, but I do know the part that I played because first of all, you got with somebody that was a child, still young, right? I'm just gonna be honest. At the time, like I was 18 and my kid's father was 15 when we had our first child when we had Malik. That's a whole nother story because I didn't know he was 15. But anyway, he was young. He wasn't a man, right? And so after having Talik and then having Ivory, you have this young man that's trying to be a dad, trying to be a father, um, and it was a lot. And so I was like, you know what? I realized the part that I played in it, and I prayed about it a lot. And so it took some time, and it took a lot of writing. That's actually when I started writing and doing poetry. Um, it wasn't until I forgave myself. It wasn't even at the time. It wasn't even about forgiving them, right? It was I was hurting myself, and I finally forgave myself. And when I did that, I, things just started to change. You know, we I don't want to say we're perfect now, but we have 3 kids together, so we have to stay, we have to be friends. And so that's where I am with it now. I forgave myself, and it's still a process, but it's been some years, but it has allowed me to grow. Um, it's allowed him to grow. I can I can honestly say we're better friends now than we were as partners, because we both realized kind of like where we stood. And I've always been mature from my age, right? So even back then at like 17 and 18, I was a grinder. Like I worked, I I had a car when I was 17. Like I had to grow up fast because of my upbringing. And so I expected the same thing, and I shouldn't have expected that from him, right? So um, it took some time, but I have forgiven myself and forgiven them, and I love both of them. I love that person, and I love him as a friend.
Okay, that was a lot.
Yeah,
Oh, that was a lot.
it's deep. It's it's deep.
Thank you. Thank you. First, thank you. Thank you for, sharing pieces of your heart, pieces of your struggle. It isn't never comfortable. We just get to a place where we're comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Hmm.
And so I thank you. It takes courage to tell the truth, your truth, as it is. Anyone that is in a place where they are healing out loud and refuse to be held hostage to the pains of their past, it is still a struggle on this side, to not only face those things that come up, because let's just be honest, everything don't come up at one time. We think we're doing a good job at pulling this thing and this thing and that thing and that thing, and we working on this, putting it's like the salad bowl effect. We putting all this stuff together and think that we got some order. But every now and then, we are reminded that there's still some things, some issues in our heart that we have to work out. And forgiveness is something that we oftentimes find ourselves the most uncomfortable, because we got so many different definitions according to whatever it is that your faith is based out of, or your thought process, whatever the theory that you have. So many of us has this belief that forgiveness is reconciliation. If I say that I forgive you, that means it erases what happened, or it makes it okay, when that is far from the truth.
Hmm.
And one of the things that our mission to do is expose the lie with the truth, and my truth, what has worked for me and what has helped me. And in my 46 years of living, I realized, just recent, that it is the truth, the truth that makes it easier to go through, to make it easier to make those difficult decisions. It is the truth. When I am able to tell the truth first to myself, I find, the other side of that much lighter, much healthier. I feel like I can breathe a little bit more.
Hmm.
Um, so I definitely appreciate you sharing your vulnerability. But I do have a question because that
Oh,
was a lot. So I want to just back up a little bit.
what talking about?
Um, so in that process, looking back now that you are an adult woman or mature woman, if oh
They
oh, I love it. I love it. But that's just case in point to why telling the truth is so important because our kids are watching and our kids need to know that it is okay to tell the truth with and guess what? It's okay to tell the truth to the people you know you can tell the truth to because there's no judgment. We're not going to walk away and I'm going to look at you differently. If anything, it's gonna make me lean in a little bit more with compassion and understanding. And I just that was a moment for me. That was real. But at the same time, your tears are too, and they got to come out. They need a way of escape. We try to hold it in so much because we want to be strong. We want to look strong. We want to appear. And guess what? Our tears doesn't wipe away our strength. It actually solidifies our strength. Our tears says that yes, I once was, but today I am. And there was a time that I couldn't forgive. There was a time that I didn't know anything about forgiveness. There was a time that I didn't know that I needed forgiveness. I can say that because that is the truth. And I got the receipts to prove that I once believed that that was the truth. You know that song, I got that ice box on my chest.
yeah, man, my heart used to be.
Yeah. Come on now. And if we really tell the truth. And so I wasn't even going there. I wasn't so let me relax you for a minute. I wasn't even going there tonight, but for whatever reason, we needed to, and it's okay. That's why I know when it get out of the way. That's why I disappeared because at that moment it wasn't about me. I didn't want to be a distraction for you. Whatever is in your heart, that is what I'm saying. This platform is not just for me; it's for us. Those that are willing to be courageous, those of us that are willing to just be honest and tell the truth, we're healing out loud with the hopes that we are encouraging other people to do the same. And so I want you to talk a little bit more because you said a couple times that it was a process. It was a process. I heard that a couple times. And so can you share with us a little bit about your process? What helped? What So I have a two-part question in this particular situation. What made you realize that one you needed to take ownership, and then once you realized that and you were able to take ownership, what motivated you to either see that there was a need for you to forgive you?
Um, so to answer the first part of the question is because I realized it because I couldn't get out of it. Like every day, like no matter what I did, no matter what I tried to do to what I would call be normal again. Um, because you have to understand, like it changed the whole dynamic of like my family, right? And I just woke up one day and I was like I can't live like this no more every day. Like if I could explain it, if you feel like you're in a fog, like I
Mhm.
felt like every day I woke up, I was walking around living in like a fog, like in my head, and it just didn't feel good. And I would try to like um be okay. Like I still would go to work. I still would, but in the inside, like I wasn't, right? So
Right.
I would go to work, and at the time, like I was working at Walmart, and I would go to work and I would be waiting on customers. I've always had jobs where I dealt with the public. And all of a sudden I'm talking to people, I'm talking to the customers, and I'm trying to tell them like, well, you having a problem, let me help you such and such, and just bust out crying. And these people looking at me like I'm crazy. Like, what is wrong with
Right.
her? And I would have to excuse myself, and go get myself together. Or I would be, dealing with my children and having a nice time. And all of a sudden I just would start crying, and I'm just like, I can't do this no more every day. Like I'm not going to be any good to my children if I continue to be this way. And
Mm.
so that's what made me realize. And then what's the second part of the question again? I think I know, but I just want to make sure.
What? So I got that part, and so now, what motivated you to recognize that there was a need for you to forgive yourself?
um I knew I had to forgive myself because it was like something in me. Like I forgave them before I forgave myself, if that makes sense. And I didn't know why. And I've always been told, like, Tyra, you too nice, you too forgiving, right? And I would beat myself up because I forgave them first, and it was like the Lord was like, you forgave them, but you still beating yourself up, right, about it over
Mhm.
again. And so what happened was something else happened. Something else bad happened with them again, and it was kind of like a wake up call. And I know today that it was the Lord saying like, I'm trying to like help you, right?
Mhm.
And I'm like, okay, I surrendered. Like I truly surrendered, because the first time it wasn't me surrendering, it was me. um I still loved him to the point where I was willing to do anything for it to work out. And so I was
Mhm.
like, I was still trying to be around, like even the person that it was with, the young lady, I still had her around. Like I was loving on her. Um I was trying to get her help and get her like counseling for the situation. It was just a lot. And while doing all of that, I still was angry. I still was hurt, and I'm like, I had to pray, and I'm like, God, what can I do to release like some of this anger and this hurt? This just don't feel right. And I surrendered. Like, and I understand today what people mean when they say you truly have to like surrender all, and you have to allow God to like speak to you. And when I allowed that to happen, first of all, I never really like cried about it, just let it go.
Mhm.
Like I had three children. I didn't want them to see me stressed out all the time. I still had to provide for them. Um, so I was always that mom in motion.
Right.
I never allowed myself that space to heal, because I went right back into like mommy mode when it happened. And that was the worst thing I could do, because I was killing myself slowly.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like, but my faith has always been good. But I will
Mhm.
honestly say, because this is we're talking about being honest. I questioned my faith. I questioned
Mhm.
God, because I'm like, why? Like, why me? I'm a good person. I'm a good, I'm a provider. I do what I got to do for my children. I love who I'm with, God. Like, And so I kind of pushed my faith to the side, and I'm like, well, at this point, you don't love me. God, if you would allow this to happen to me, you don't love me. And it was just the opposite. It was God loving me because He was showing me that I wasn't in the perfect little space. My
Mhm.
so I didn't have this perfect little family that I thought I had, and I wouldn't be where I'm at today. I know that wholeheartedly. Had it not happened, you know,
Mhm.
it. So I hope I answered the question, but I just had to surrender all, and I did that, and it took me back to the place where I thought I didn't want to be, which was my church, and not even necessarily my church. I reached out to my pastor, and we I had counseling. I talked to my pastor for quite a long time before I even walked back into the church house itself, because it was a reminder of the past, right?
Mhm.
I've always gone to that church, so it wasn't always good. So my memory of going there was me and my children and my children's father, us as a family, and I didn't want to go back to that space. So
Mhm.
it took a while for him to for us to talk, and I had some counseling classes, and then I just had a tie-dye moment, like a epiphany, I guess you could say. And I just started, instead of focusing on what they did wrong, I started focusing on what I did right.
Mhm.
And that's where the forgiveness came in, because I knew, I'm like, I know what went wrong, I know what they did wrong, but I know what I let me start worrying about what I did right as a person. And then the pads, the shoulder pads, just started falling off. Like the guilt started falling off, the hurt started falling off. Like I started smiling again because I didn't smile for a long time, and so yeah, like he did it for me. I give all the praises to God.
I know that's right. Okay, I somebody while you were talking, something stuck out to me in the chat. Miss Candace says, I'm having issues with forgiving others more so than myself. People who have a constant bias have said and done things I don't forgive. When I pray, I know I am wrong. What will you say to
What's the Miss Morris,
that, Miss Candace?
Miss Candace?
Hmm.
Um, I would just say you're gonna feel much better once you get into that atmosphere of learning how to forgive. Whatever the situation is, and I used to be the same. I had, like I said, I had people tell me all the time, like, you're too forgiving. And I now, this Tyra knows that it's no such thing. It's no such thing as being too forgiving. You can forgive and be smart about it. It doesn't mean you have to hold on to that thing. I can forgive you, but I can love you from a distance. I can forgive you, and I really don't have to deal with you anymore if that's the case. But when you forgive other people, you're actually doing it for yourself, because it's a
Right,
freedom in forgiving. So I
right,
pray that you get to that place and that space where your heart can allow you to truly let go and let God.
right. And Marlo said boundaries. Miss Curran says he doesn't do it to us, he does it for us. Our Tone said you can forgive and be safe. I'm um there was another comment that caught my attention. And this I'm going to flip this comment. I like it, but I know the intent behind the person saying it isn't we don't share the same perspective. But I'm going to use this, and it's going to bring us to the next part of this conversation. It says, I just don't care, to be honest. Separation now is a better option than what I really feel is appropriate. So let's play with let's expound on this. The first part, I just don't care, to be honest. Guess what? I respect that. I respect that. If that's the truth, I respect that. Because guess what? It lets me know. It creates an option for me. It lets me know how far I want to go.
That's deep. I don't care, to be honest. I can respect that.
When you can say that, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm a Martian. I don't know. But if somebody can say, be if that is the space that you are in, I just don't care, to be honest. That's a real response.
Hmm.
I just don't care. What do you do with that?
I mean, that answers the why. I had a question to myself. I was going to ask that person like why, but that's the answer is in the statement.
Yes.
I'm honestly.
Yes. But if we tell the truth, don't we sometimes, well, let me say for myself, when people tell us, when we hear those words, we ignore it because that's not what we want to hear, and we still project what we feel, what we think, and what we believe on this person is just saying, I simply don't care. I'm being honest. I'm telling you, I simply don't care. But don't we find ourselves a lot of times still projecting what we think, feel, and believe on the person is just showing you. That's not only telling you, but they are showing you they just don't care.
Yeah, and that's where the problem lies. Because if the person is being honest enough to tell you, I don't want to be honest, that's it. Like that's it. That's a whole statement with a period. So you gotta respect it, and you gotta, leave it alone. Now I'm probably one of those people that if somebody was to say that to me, I'ma want to go deeper. Like, what do you mean? And that's not what they
For
want.
me, right. So for me, the conversation starts and stop right there.
Hmm.
Because I respect when a person can just be honest with where they are. It takes two people to have a difficult conversation,
Right.
especially when it comes to forgiveness. When a person says they are not ready and you may be ready, you really not at a crossroad. We create the crossroad instead of reframing and saying it's not time to have this conversation, or we may not never have this conversation.
Yeah, that was I was going to say that part. It might not be a conversation had. You just got to be okay with that.
Right. Because I can say that there is people in my life that are gone. I will never ever have that conversation. But does that take away from my process? No, it doesn't. Does it negate the fact that I still forgive you, even though you can never hear those words and you can never respond because you're gone? I like what Mr. Williams said. What Mr. Williams said. He says forgiveness is a private and personal as a fingerprint. We cannot force or guilt people into forgiveness. Some people may not be able to get to forgiveness. For those that do, great. For those that have not, it does not diminish his or her journey. Why I support that message is because Tyra said it earlier, it's a process. Even with what somebody telling me right now, I just don't care, to be honest with you, to even deal with it, to even visit it. I might not want to hear it, but guess what? It will be well with my soul because you're telling me the truth. You could spin me. You could tell me what I want to hear for the sake of hearing it. How Deftone says, but if we're talking about it, don't we care? Which brings me back with a different perspective. The chat is chatting, which brings me to this question pertaining to I don't care, to be honest. When it's all said and done, when the lights are off, the curtains are closed, there is no more uh, no more, no phone calls, no text, nothing. It's just you. Do you really care? I had the attitude at one time that I don't care. I did. I was one of those ones in front of the masses. I don't care. And I wore it. Wow. My nose would get the flaring, the attitude, get the attitude in. I don't care. But when the lights, camera, and action is done, guess what I'm doing? My
Care.
face at the wall. Why? Because I care. I care to the point where I don't really know what to do with what I'm feeling and what I'm thinking. I don't know who to turn to because I'm so used to being hurt. I'm so used to being abused. And then I dip into that bag where because of the hurt and because of the abuse, now I want to be tough. Now I want to use that to help propel me in this tough skin that I've created for myself. Now I gotta ask myself, am I delusional? Am I really being honest? I'm talking about me. Because I'm saying just recently I was forced to ask myself, do I really care? Do I really care? And that's when the light bulb hit me. It's not you, it's me. And I decided to say, I forgive you. Not because there was something deep, not because I just simply realized that I am the problem.
Mm-hmm.
I am the problem today. I ain't talking about yesterday. I ain't talking about 10 years from now. I'm talking about today. I recognize that I am the problem because when you know better, you do better. And when you know better, you recognize that if you don't do this work within you, within yourself, don't have nothing to do about other people. You the problem. When you show up and you still saying I'm good, and you knowing your heart hurt, or you knowing you got an attitude, or you knowing, but for the sake of just appearing, looking good and sounding good and being able to be the part, do some of us still show up? I'm good. When today, no, I'm frustrated, but I'm still good. But right now, I'm frustrated. I can't speak to that. Why is that going to make me look like? So I realize that you ain't the problem, it's me. And guess what? I forgive you. And see, now there's a level of maturity that surprises me because we think asking, forgiving people, or that it always has to be this. Um, we gotta come from a low place. It gotta be a low vibration conversation. And I'm saying, for me, this is an everyday practice. I know that I have to make a conscious decision. Sometimes I have to remind myself of certain things and certain decorations that I made for myself, but I found myself again having another conversation where I am saying I forgive you. And I like what you said earlier. You said that you realized at some point in your process, excuse me, you had to stop looking at the people and you had to look at yourself, and you realized that you had to forgive you. Can you take us there to that place, to that, if you can, to that moment when you were, were able to discover and have that conversation with yourself? Can you take us back there?
Uh, so I'm gonna say this, and I'm being honest. It the moment I realized that I forgave myself was when the person that I'm with now actually came into my life, and I'm being honest, because I didn't at the time when you go through something like that, it makes you feel like you're not worthy. And when I say not worthy, it makes you feel like you don't deserve to be with somebody um, good. Because, like I said, I just, before I realized what I did right, all I did was talk about maybe what I did wrong. Maybe I worked too much. Maybe I wasn't around enough. Um, Maybe he needed more of my time. It was so many things I thought about until I realized that no, that's not the case. Um, and when someone came into my life, and when I say someone, I mean my husband that I'm with now, um, he opened up that door for me to understand that I am worthy. I am good enough. Um, I didn't do anything wrong in a situation. I didn't deserve what happened to me. And that was the moment. Like I was actually at work where I kind of stayed. Um, and again, I was just it was around the time that I was finally like getting back to some normal. I had my pastor on speed dial, so if I needed him, I was good. Um, and he sent something to my job. I was Let me go back a little bit. It took a while. It took a while for my husband to um get to me. And what I mean by that is like he was always a friend, but when this situation happened, he was more so of a he reached out to me quite often to see how I was doing. I was doing right, and I would be very standoffish. Like I didn't accept it for what it was, and I was just like, no, he just somebody else that's about to try to hurt me. I'm not trying to get with that. So no matter what he did, I was just like, he would throw the ball, I would throw it back. Like I wasn't trying to have it, and he would not give up. He was very persistent, and I was at work one day, and it was Valentine's Day, and he did something that I hadn't had anybody do in a long time. He had some flowers and roses and a teddy bear delivered to my job where I was working, and inside the teddy bear it was a card, and this was the moment that I had that moment. The card said, uh, "You are enough," and I just broke down. I literally broke down like at work. Oh Lord, you gonna make me cry for a minute. I got my whole roll of toilet tissue, sweet baby. Um, I broke down. I I
Get the
uh
tissue.
I got the tissue in my eyeball, Lord.
Yeah, get the tissue. So it
Um,
won't go on your eye.
uh, I said I am enough. I am enough, and I just said, God, whatever you have for me, starting this day, it's not about what happened to me in my past. It's not about I'm starting fresh today, and I did, um, and that was it. Um, it still took a while for my healing, but that was the moment that I forgave myself.
Right, right, right,
Um,
right,
and that doesn't mean that all of a sudden I walked out there that day and I was like this perfect tower. I still had to go
right.
counseling and go do things, but that was my freeing moment. Yeah, that was it.
Wow, that I'm like Raven. Wow. That is incredible. This is my first time hearing this
I've never,
story, this truth. It definitely is my first time hearing it with you all, and I just want to say thank you to him. As a black man, and I'm not. It's no secret for those of you who've been here from day one. You know who Tyra is to me. You know how much she means to me. You know that. So for those of you who are new, let me tell you, let me tell you something. This is a woman of courage. This is a woman of great strength. This is a woman who has come to a place in her life where she is healing out loud. We are not hiding anymore in our past. We know that we are forgiven because we can talk about those things that seems unforgivable. We can talk about those things that has held us trapped to our own circumstances. But what I appreciate about your story and that I am so intrigued by and so in love with is that it took a black man to do something that was not asked of him. Didn't even know that you needed, but because he followed his heart, he listened to his spirit. And there was only these words: you are enough. As a black woman, that is all your heart longs for. Not just to hear, but to feel, to know, to be acknowledged that I am enough. And because your heart and your spirit receive them, you begin your journey of healing. You begin your journey of forgiving yourself and then others. So let me help you all recognize that if you are at a place where you haven't forgiven yourself, you haven't really truly forgiven others. We trick ourselves into believing, but understand what you are going through when you are not allowing yourself to go through. When you're not putting in the work, we have a form of a thing, but we are not embodying it. We tell ourselves just because we say it that we're doing it. But if you're not actually doing the work, God gives us what we need in the season we need it. Shout out to High Def Tone. Shout out to Kaumba, um, who says that is a blessing and who has her body of people collectively listening in. So shout out to you and your tribe, your people that are listening in. We definitely appreciate you all for tapping in on this evening. But understand what I am about to say is for mature, emotionally mature men and women who are at a place where they are willing to tell the truth, not necessarily to me, not necessarily to Tyra, not necessarily to each other in the chat, but to yourself. And remember, if you were with me from day one, you have been following my journey. I expose my weaknesses, my strengths, everything when I'm going through. I share as I go through. I share because this is important. I want people to see that it takes work. But the greatest work that one will do is to be honest with yourself. We can fool the world, but the one person you can't fool for long is you. Because you take you everywhere you go. And those things that you hide, they coming up. That hurt, that pain, that shame, that guilt. You might think it's camouflage as strength, but I am telling you, it comes out in other ways and people see it. You are the one that is in denial. I can say that because that was once me. I'm still struggling to get where Tyra to be able to just articulate. This is what I went through, and this is how I got through it. This is my process. It takes me a minute, but to be able to do it and nobody have to push you, I commend you. Nobody has to provoke you. Nobody has to be your cheerleader in the background for you to do this work, and I commend you for that. It is a big deal. And I want you to know, and I hope that you remind yourself more than every now and then that you are enough. Why? Because you don't know what your voice on tonight did for somebody. You don't know just by you opening up and telling the truth what it did for somebody else. Because we understand that the healing is coming from our voice. And so I'm gonna share with you that I shared with everybody, and I hope, as again, like I shared last week, that I hope that you all are reading the descriptions that are in the link when you are clicking on this. We're not doing this just to be doing it. This is real work, real people, real hearts, real minds. And it is not us saying that you have to do it right now. We are just presenting to you that it can be done. That's it. That's all. It takes courage as well. And it's heavy and unhealthy. Thanks for sharing your healing journey. That comes from Kaumba. Yes, yes, yes. Lamanda said, to thy own self be true. Yes, yes, y'all talking good. So this is a letter that I've actually had help with putting together. And I'm gonna read this and I want to hear, I'm gonna read parts of it and I want to hear your thoughts. And so the first word is dear. I have my own word, but I want you to put your own name, whatever needs to be in that description. I want you to put it in it. And I want you to say it out loud. I want you to be brave. I want you to be courageous. I want you to tap into your tenacity. Why? Because we are healing out loud. Marlo says, Tyra, you healed someone today. Miss Lamanda says, I am embracing on that journey of getting honest and truthful with myself. Lamanda is practicing her right to remain silent because she will talk herself out of her breakthrough because she's a slick talker. I'm gonna get Lamanda up here one day. Y'all ain't ready for Miss Lamanda, but I'm gonna get her up here. I'm gonna get her up here, but we just gotta get some more work in, some more stuff in. But Miss Lamanda, shout out to you. I know you getting it. I know you got it. We just gotta put a little bit more work in before we bring you up. But I am excited for people to hear from you. But yes, I can say I can truly attest to the many people that you have blessed even right now with just speaking your truth as is. And so here we go. You ready? So my name, the name that I am choosing, Dear Insecurity. You fill in your blank. Dear whomever, whatever, it doesn't matter.
Uh,
But we are releasing. So if for you, if it's a name, I need you to put the name in that because we are releasing on this evening.
okay. Dear Ivory and Shanae.
Okay, take a deep breath. I'm gonna ask you to repeat that again, and then I'm gonna go ahead and read. And I just want you to take it in. Once I finish reading, I'm gonna ask you to respond. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Here we go. Dear,
Dear Ivory and Shanae.
I've taken time to sit with my thoughts, to feel everything I needed to feel, and now I want to say something important. So let me stop here and be a little bit more clear. This is a letter written to someone you need to forgive, not someone that you want forgiveness from, but this is someone right now in this moment that you want to forgive. So is these the names that you said, is these people you need to forgive?
Mm-hmm.
All right. I just wanted to be clear. Moving forward, I forgive you. This isn't about pretending nothing happened or brushing over the hurt. What happened mattered. Pain, the confusion, the disappointment. It's something I no longer wish to hold. Forgiveness isn't me excusing your actions. It's not me closing, excuse me, it's not me choosing peace over bitterness. You may never fully understand how your words or actions affected me. Maybe you didn't intend to hurt me, or maybe you did and regret it now. Either way, I've decided to stop replaying those moments in my head. They don't get control. They don't get to control my heart anymore. I forgive you, not because you asked for it, and not because I'm trying to erase the past, but because I need to move forward. Holding on to anger only tied me to a version of myself that I no longer desire to be. This letter isn't a door reopening. It's not necessarily about restoring things to how they once were. It's simply a release for the both of us, a chance to let go of the story we've been stuck in. Whatever comes next, I genuinely wish you peace and healing, just as I am finding it for myself. I pray for it for you. Forward ever, backwards never. Say it out loud.
Forwards ever, backwards never.
Yes, 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 yes. We are moving forward just like that. Just like that. When you make it up in your mind and in your heart, it's just that. It's just like that. And see, sometimes I have to have these conversations with myself because I entertain because I care. I care what people think. I care what people say. If I care about what you think when you're speaking positive, when you are screaming accolades, and when you are cheering me on, if I care, I dare not say that I don't care when what you have to say is negative. Whether it hurts me or whether it makes me feel good, I still care. But it doesn't consume me no longer. And when it does consume me, I recognize you're not the problem, it's me. I realized that I allow insecurity to come back into my place. And we started having conversation. But when I realized that hamster wheel was revving up, that cage was cleaning itself, waiting for me to come in. Mm-mm. Nope, nope. I went inward. I started with myself. I forgive you. And guess who I forgive? Instinct. I forgive you. I forgive you for ever feeling like that, that it was okay to mishandle me because of my past. Forgive me for misleading you to ever think that we will ever be reconciled. Forgive me if I manipulate. See, this is how I got to talk to myself. Why? Because my healing is dependent upon it. I got to tell the truth.
Mhm.
I got caught up for a minute and listening and well, not listening, but reading the negativity. I got caught up in that for a minute. I got too much time on my hands, apparently, this week. And I'm saying we got to be clear about why we are forgiven, who we are forgiven. We got to be clear about that. Why? Because if you're not clear, you're going to find yourself back on that hamster wheel, falling in the same a bit depressed pattern subconsciously.
Yeah.
And we showing up and somebody like, hey girl, you look good. How you doing? I'm good. But inside we broken. Forward ever, backwards never. I thank you. I thank you. I thank you, everyone, for showing up. But I am going to give Tyra the last words as we close out. We started on time. Please forgive me, but we are going to end just momentarily. Just hold on. But I want to hear what Tyra has to say from the words that was read.
I truly just want to say, and I know um, this show, this broadcast is gonna be live, and so I know um, the people or the persons that I'm speaking of, they may see this, and I just want to truly say from the bottom of my heart, I love you. And I'm not just saying that. I want to honestly say I love you. I am no longer a victim to my past or to the circumstances. I truly understand and I realize what could have and should have been done differently. And I just pray that you have forgiven yourself and um, yeah, and just know that I love you. I am a woman. I am the woman that I am today because of it. It has made me stronger. It's made me a better mother. It's made me a better friend, and it has taught me um, to just know that I can lean on God for anything, and He will fix it.
Yeah.
I know that
Yes.
if I can forgive you, I can forgive me, and it's all good.
It is all good. Forward ever, backwards never. Yes, yes, yes. My beautiful queen, my sister. I thank you. I thank you. I thank you. I thank you for just being open to the process. I thank you for sharing. I thank you for your ability to not have any expectations, but just do it anyway because your freedom, your liberty is dependent upon it, your healing, and to be able to be clear within your articulation that is not to offend, but it is to get you free. And I pray that those persons who will watch, if they see this, that they will be brave and that we can together have that difficult conversation, because that's what this journey is about. Moving forward, not being stuck and held hostage to our past. Yesterday was yesterday. It is nothing we could do about it. And so we have to, as long as we are in the land of the living, we have to make the choice. What quality of life do you want to live? I heard somebody say something so profound in a place that I didn't expect it. But the individual said, and I gotta go back so that I can shout out the person who actually said these words. But he said, if you're not gonna deal with the right now and you're healing, this is my words, I'm not paraphrasing, I'm just taking it as I heard it. And your healing is in your future. You're healing the thing that you want, the thing that you're longing for is not right here. It's in your future. So why not right now make the decision to get to your future, to get to your healing? It takes work. It takes a level of courage. And then it's not, this platform is not for everybody. It's not. It's not. You have to be at a place where you are healing or you are healed. You are self aware enough to know how much to give and how much not to give. We are doing real work, people. And you in the pusher community, I appreciate you all for showing up every week faithfully. I appreciate it. I appreciate you giving ear. I appreciate you pushing Tyra, you encouraging Tyra, that you are allowing her to see that we are in this together. We are a body of pushers pushing one another forward. That is what this is about. And so I hope that we can have you back. Um, I would love for you and your hubby to come back and talk about that moment, that journey, and how it was for him. Even though I know y'all, I don't hear a lot from him. He like sort of play the background. He don't like the camera, do he?
No, he don't at all. But he
No,
do it for
but
me.
it yeah, but it is my so that is my desire. I am putting it out there that I would love to have you both here one day to just talk about your love story and how it has been a healing journey for the both of you. We need to hear about that. That black love still exists, people. That your one is still out here, and that can bring you that balance. I love to hear it, and I'm glad that I can witness it, that I can be a part of it. And so that means I am without excuse because it exists, because I see it, no doubt. Anything that you want to say to anybody watching who may be struggling with just simply understanding that there is a need to go through the process. And I'm gonna give you the final word with that, and we're gonna end.
I would just simply say to anybody that is either watching now or will be watching in the future, just realize and understand. Um, in the words of my husband, you are enough. You are enough. So whatever it takes, whatever you have to do to get through to the other side, you can do it just knowing simply you are enough.
It is your girl Pusher. If you're not pushing forward, you're moving backwards. Say it out loud. Forward ever, backwards never. No, really say that thing out loud. Forward ever, backwards never. Have you gotten your copy of It Takes One to Know One workbook and journal and people pusher? No, then travel over to pusherlife.org, go to the author's page, and you will find It Takes One to Know One and People Pusher. Come tap in.